Hello, and yes, you are in the right room if you are here for Friends from Work. What's up, colleagues? I'm Al Jackson. I'm here with Tori Shulman. You're looking confused, Tori. You're looking at the computer the way my dad used to.
Like as an enemy of the state. No, I'm just trying to figure out if everyone's in the right room, but I think we're in the right room.
I think what we've come up with, colleagues, for as it pertains to the chats, there's always, because there is a vertical chat and a horizontal chat, there's two chats. But the reason we have the vertical and horizontal is YouTube is trying to basically compete with Instagram Reels and TikTok, and they want a show like this to go out um, on their vertical as well as their horizontal. So
Okay.
there's two of them, but it's actually, so you can decide, maybe we could have like a East Coast, West Coast. Like, I'm vertical chat over here, baby.
That's
You
so
don't want no
funny.
smoke over here.
So someone said we're really small.
Our picture is slim and tiny. Let's do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go. Okay.
Nice.
That's a lot of Al.
That's
That's
good.
a lot of Al, but we are gonna do it. And also, I do like that. I have been working uh with this enough where I can respond in real time. So if you tell me, Al, you're blurry and you look weird, I can fix it. I can't fix his face, but I can fix a lot of things. Tori, your hair looking very 80s. Um, like a movie with Pierce Brosnan, and who was like a hot 80s blonde.
Renee Rousseau. Oh, she's not
Yeah,
blonde. Yeah.
where they're like bank robbers, but they're also both really hot, and they rob a bank and drive to Mexico in a drop top and then have sex on the money. That's how your hair
Nice.
looked afterwards. Yes.
That's amazing. So someone says, still, this picture is slim and tiny. I can never find the horizontal. And someone said, um, better, but it's not the usual.
Well, YouTube changed their, like I said, YouTube changed like the way everything looks. Maybe we need to adjust the picture, but I think this is like how it looks now. So it says, "Oh, SAR says more colleagues are in the vertical." I don't even know where that is, but it's and yes, Marcy, we're going to get to Tori's incredible vibey sports predictions yesterday. Tori, did you know how well you did? Now, first of all, let's tell everybody what we did last night.
We went to Dude IDK Studios for a holiday party and we really enjoyed ourselves. Al and Sarah and I walked in and like everybody was there were so many people there and Nick had all this food out and he had drinks and there was a tattoo artist and everyone was getting tattoos. Go to the other room, it's better. I like the horizontal better. We're in the vertical, but all the cool kids are here. Oh, I see. So you guys like horizontal better? I'm just trying to figure out which one you like.
I think there's some people that are watching on their phones, so it looks better vertical, and some people are watching on their laptops, like I am actually right now looking at
Okay.
you, and so the horizontal looks better. But don't
I
lose your
don't
train of thought, girl. What were
Okay.
we doing?
So and people got tattoos, and so, and there was, like, really we just all had a really fun time, and I took a
Tori,
couple
you need
shots.
you need to emphasize people were getting tattoos. There was a free
It
tattoo
was
artist there,
crazy, like,
and
and
a
they
bunch of people got
a
tattoos.
lot
And
of
would you
them.
colleagues get tattoos at like a public in a public setting at a
And
party?
and, like, some of them were not, they didn't mean anything, like, they were just getting them to get like, somebody got a Bart Simpson one, and I was like, I could never do that about a tattoo. I would 1,000%. I'm on my laptop and it's still vertical. I'm so sorry, guys. We're trying to figure it out. It's vertical on the phone and horizontal on TV. I'm on my computer and it's vertical. Go out and click the other page. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry we have this issue. But anyway, we had a really fun time. I didn't get a tattoo, although I kind of wanted to get one. No, I
If
didn't
you
get one,
were gonna get
Julia.
one, which one would you get? Now I know that it was you and Sar who was hanging out with us last night. You guys were both hesitant to get tattoos. Why would that be, Tori?
That was because as a Jewish person, you're not supposed to get one because you're not allowed to be buried in like a Jewish cemetery. But that's also about earrings. You're not supposed to have pierced ears. So it's like, let me have a tattoo. Like I just want to have a
Is the
tattoo.
pierced ear something that they'll overlook when they're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
bury
you're
you.
not supposed to desecrate the body is what the whole thing is with the tattoo and the ear piercing. So, very, very
Not
interesting.
even joking about this. What about boob enhancements?
They don't say anything about boob enhancements, like getting a boob job, but tattoos for Jews, it's a no. It's a strong no
That,
for the Jewish
that kind
faith.
of rhymes. Tattoos for Jews. I say no. And you said your dad would be pissed if you got one.
Really mad, really, really mad.
Yeah.
So it's frowned upon for sure, Julia. So I really want one, and I told everyone last night about how I want Seabiscuit the horse really badly. And then I kind of just had 2 shots of Jameson, like Bullet. You guys know Bullet whis is it whiskey? I think it's whiskey.
Bullet, yeah, bullet
And
right. It's bourbon, I believe.
Bullet Rye, right. And so I ended up talking like a lot about Seabiscuit.
I was gonna ask, are we sure you just had 2 shots, Tori?
I did have only 2 shots. I'm not a big drinker anymore. I did end up going and getting an airplane-sized bottle of, like, Southern Comfort because someone else finished the bullet, and I wanted to mix it in with my Topo Chico, and that was really good, and Sar mixed wine in with her Topo Chico, and it was delicious.
That's a little spritzer. And
Yeah, you're
I
right.
I I will say this, guys. Tori's saying, "Oh, she went and got a little airplane-sized bottle," which sounds like she went over to like Wines for More, Wines
Right.
Plus, and like went and got a grocery cart and like shopped around. We Dude IDK Studios is in a beautifully traditionally black neighborhood. 5 points, shout out. And Tori walked over to the corner liquor store in a red Get 'em Girl dress with her Get 'em Girl boots. Tori, I told you, Tori is comfortable around the people. Tori walking right past EBT signs, going in there, shopping.
And I'm like, "What do you have?"
Yes, and I'm sure everybody there was like, "This is a cop. She's fine. Don't buy it. If she's trying to buy anything, we're not selling it." But yeah, it's like I like I always love that about you, Tori. You don't care where you are. You're always
No.
yourself. So you went to the corner liquor store
Yeah, and I
and you
went with
bought a mini bottle of booze.
2 of them, and I went
Two.
with Chef
Okay.
Pat. Chef Pat is great, follow his YouTube show, Cook and Meat. He's a great chef, and he had prepared a lot of food, so he went to get some beers, and there was a girl in front of us in line, and she had 2 White Claws that are, like, called Surge, and they have, like, 8%, and you can tell, I think, she comes in every day and gets the same 2, and I go, "What is that? Tell me about that." And she goes, "Oh, you just need 2 of these and you're gone." I was like, "Oh."
That's some people's like way to hang out. It's like a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I want to have a glass of wine so I can be social,"
She's
and
like
other people like, "If you have 3 of them, you're strong enough to fight a cop. So good luck." It
yeah,
was-
she and her eyes were, like, kinda dead. She's like, "You just need 2." I was like, "Oh, thank you." But yeah, someone wrote, "In 5 points, she must be thick."
yeah,
We talked
see,
about me being thick yesterday.
thick with
Uh,
2 C's. And Tori, I didn't want to get to this early, but this does kind of relate to this one random story that I wanted to talk about, and we have some video to go along with it. So let's peep this and let's pray, okay? Because this is how your night could have gone, Tori. Here we go.
Alright, that's the answer! Alright, he's just fucking harassed! Yeah, it's on his sweatshirt!
Please leave. Okay, stop. Stop. No.
Hey. And we're back.
I saw this. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Tell
I
every
hope
Did
I
you read the
never
article?
No, no, I just saw it. Julia says it looks like Thanksgiving dinner.
It This was just a drunken woman at a restaurant, and it's amazing how we're going like we just had I think it takes place December 31st. There's a ban on vapes here in Denver. a lot of cities you can't buy weed, but anywhere you go, you can buy alcohol. And alcohol seems like it affects everybody so differently. I don't think this woman, she's probably not a great person, but I don't think this woman is a monster on a daily basis. But clearly, she gets a couple in her and she's camera out, which is like the new thing that all drunk a-holes do. Is they're like, I'm filming you, and the cop is like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
I'm filming you too. It does,
Right.
and I think then it comes out. Where's your manager? All that stuff, and then it ends up with you being tripped on the sidewalk by an employee that was just sick of. Whenever you're kicked out and people are clapping, it might be your fault.
And it was
I
like
think that's just
a polite applause. They were like, "Bravo!" Like, "Bravo!"
yeah. It
Yeah, that was crazy. And to be honest, I've been where like when I drink too much, sometimes I can get a little bit. I can be loud. I can be annoying. And so I've heard that from some people, and I really am trying to slow down. That's why I bought two of just the little guys of the Southern Comfort.
okay. I just want you to like really take in what you just said. You said, I don't want to drink too much. That's why when I walked next door to a liquor store from a party that had liquor at it, I
No, the bullet was out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. So, Tori, let's talk about one of the highlights from the party that actually pertains to this show. So let's get into it a little bit early. You're damn right. It's time for Vibey Sports. And if you tuned in Monday and threw a little wager down on what Tori said, you made some money last night, buddy. Because my girl, Tori Shulman, which I've continuously told, there are guys that get paid a lot of money just for picking the spread. Tori's like, that's easy. Tori covered the spread easily. She told us who was going to win. It was those boys from Pittsburgh. And Tori's like, you know what? I'm going to predict the score. I'm like, go ahead. But no one predicts the score. And Tori was like, 28-14. And I was like, oh, well, that doesn't seem very plausible in such a cold weather game. They probably won't be throwing a lot. Final score, 28-15. Tori,
It was 2015.
it
That's
was
so
28. You were
cool.
1 point off. 1 point. That is
Wow.
Nostradamus. That means twice this season. Once you nailed it, 10-7. The other one, you were 1 point off. So,
Wow.
Tori, I mean, I could tell that you were getting a little concerned
Yeah.
because you had a couple bad weeks. And what I say, you got to shake it off. Taylor Swift it.
Shake it off, Taylor Swift. I'm so
And
impressed. Good for the Steelers.
yes, the Steelers
Wow.
came and won that B. So, Tori, I have to ask you tonight. We don't have any football, but we do have basketball.
Okay.
It's the NBA Cup. Do you know what the NBA Cup is?
It's a cup that runneth over, you know?
Yeah. It is that. It's also a midseason tournament that the league
Okay.
plays. And do you know what's interesting about it? Even though it's obviously all the guys are millionaires, every player that wins, if you're on the team that wins the in-season tournament, everybody gets $100,000 cash. And so players play really hard, and it's been a big hit. And is it called the Commissioner's Cup? I thought that was what they called the WNBA one. Maybe ELC. I'm going to go with you on that one. The Commissioner's Cup. Every player gets just cash, straight cash, homie. One of my
Wow.
favorite quotes in all of sports was Randy Moss when he played for the Minnesota Vikings, and he got a fine for mooning the fans of Green Bay. And he was walking to his car, and a reporter goes, Randy, how are you going to pay that fine? And Randy gets in his truck and just goes, straight cash on me. So, it's just so who he is. So, Tori, the players are getting paid straight cash tonight. It is the New York Knickerbockers at Madison Square Garden.
Knicks, right?
Yes, the New York Knicks. That's right. Going heads up against the new upstart San Antonio Spurs, who have their new star center, Victor. What's his last name? Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama.
Oh,
The guy
is
that's
it?
7'4"
Wow.
or
I
6.
don't
I
know.
think he's 7'6".
Wow.
He is gigantic. And I'll try and get a picture up. But yes, he has changed their fortunes. So do you think that Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks are going to win the Commissioner's Cup tonight, or do you think the San Antonio Spurs and their 7'7" phenom rookie from France are going to take it?
And they're playing at home for the Knicks at the Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
Ooh. What does Vegas say?
The Vegas line, that's a great question. Let me look
And
here.
okay, I see you guys writing in about the 2 streams. There's 2 that I get why I go with the first one. We're gonna figure it out, guys. We're gonna figure it out so y'all can be on the same chat at once.
I do it. Are there 2 separate rooms? Is there an empty
Yeah,
room? Is
because
that what they're
Julia
saying?
can't see Marcy and no one can see Lucy. It's all
I think that there's 2 different chats because of the vertical and the
I think
horizontal, but
so.
we will figure
Yeah.
that. I feel like we mastered it yesterday, and today I use the exact same page.
No,
All
I
the
think
stuff.
they had 2 chats yesterday too. I'm not sure. I
Oh,
don't know. We'll figure it out. Michael Dean
okay.
comes back on Wednesday. No, wait. Today's
I know, but
no, Wednesday.
we're gonna give him the week off. But Tori, Vegas thinks that the New York Knicks are gonna win by 2.5 points.
I also
So
think the Knicks are gonna take it.
okay.
I just think 'cause you're going for money. You're going in Madison Square Garden, New York. Everybody's gonna be watching. I just think there's a lot of ambiance.
Okay, I like that word.
Okay, there's an ambiance. And I think it's gonna be a very tight game. Very tight. I think it's gonna be like 108 to 101.
Okay, but you think the New York Knicks are gonna take it. So you heard it here first.
Yes.
Tori making a bet. I think this is your first basketball prediction. And I mean,
Yeah.
if we're gonna do that, Tori, then I think we have to play this.
That was
I love
amazing. By the
love that.
way, Indy ELC says the game's in Las Vegas.
Oh, it's a tournament. So, but yeah, maybe it is in Las Vegas. So neutral court.
Oh,
So does that
okay.
change things for you, Tori?
A little bit. No, I don't think so. I still say the Knicks, and I still say it's a tight game because I think New York, Vegas, same kind of thrill. I
There's a
think it's
New
gonna be the
York
Knicks.
there.
Yeah, they're right. I just think it's gonna be
There's not
the
a
Knicks.
San Antonio casino.
Right. No,
Right.
there's
So
no Spurs. So I think the Spurs
yes.
are gonna get close, but I do think it's gonna be like 108, 101.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tori, we will stay tuned. I know that you are on fire from your win yesterday. Let's see if you can keep it going. And Tori, we have a lot to discuss. So let's get to this. Tori, before we get to our first story, I had a picture for you and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. Tori, what do you think when you see this? And let me move us out of the way. That is
Is that the White House?
White House.
You know the National Historical Society has sued for this.
Really? Let me see if I can
Yeah.
move it so we can see the
That's
whole White House.
insanity.
That's
Oh
what
my
it looks like.
gosh.
That's the White
Wow.
House right now.
Yeah, Kia Boo, we can definitely see your chat messages. Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. We can. And Sar, just tell them we missed them, says Julie. That is insane. So yeah, the president's been sued by the Historical Preservation Society because they didn't conduct any meeting with the History and Preservation Department, and that's the people's house. Like, we pay taxes to make that run. So they just tore it down like that without any kind of checking on anything. So there's a lawsuit being held right now. Hi, Kia. Good to see you. Yeah, that looks unbelievable. Thanks for saying I look so pretty, guys. Is it the volume you guys like? Is the
It's
volume?
just it's kind of like you have that like, oh, we're just having company over last second. It's a Sunday. We're gonna get hammered and hang out in my sunroom. That's the kind of look that you have, and I love it.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it.
Now, Tori, I was gonna ask you because yesterday we were trying to unpack so much from a crazy weekend. We didn't even get to a certain set of pictures. So we saw the White House, and that was a bad picture. Do you think it's worse than this picture?
Oh my gosh. I
Tori,
know.
the White House, the Oversight Committee released some of the pictures that came through from the Jeffrey Epstein estate that sent them directly and there were over 95,000 pictures. This one is Elon Musk. You can't really see, but you can't see it in the vertical. That's him and Ghislaine Maxwell. Tori, let me see if I can find this video because I made this video because I wanted to show just some of the pictures and some of the faces that were regulars at Epstein Island. And I think they should get a shout out. So let's see if this works.
The regular. Oh my God.
Okay, that was Epstein. There's Bill Clinton.
Whoa, it's going too fast. That's
okay.
Woody Allen.
I'll just have it keep playing.
Okay, there's Steve Bannon and Noam Chomsky. We got more. Woody Allen was all over the emails too, by the way.
Yes,
Woody Allen and Steve Bannon. Oh God.
Now look at this. That was a vibrating glove that was found, which is terrifying. There was a dentist chair.
Oh my God. Yeah, what was this, Al? I saw this.
And then I zoomed in and put the magnifier on that.
Yeah.
What it is it's a girl that is passed out, and it looks like her arms are bound behind her, and she appears to be incapacitated in some way.
Wow.
And Tori, I mean, does this bring to light, like, do you think Woody Allen needs to answer for this, or Bill Clinton, or do you think they just need to go away and never be heard from again? Because this is disgusting. I'm really terrified as to what was going on with that dentist chair.
I know. That scares me. God, I can't really make that out. Okay, let's be clear here. I think there was like 93. There was a lot of photos that came out.
95,000 were released.
Yeah, it's like 93,000 or something. Yeah.
Yes. What's that called? A tranche? When you release a bunch. A tranche.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know that word.
Yes.
Yeah. So Woody Allen has already essentially moved out of the United States and lives in Europe. He produces his films in Europe because no production company in the United States will work with him and distribute the films. Bill Clinton has famously remained very silent. And as a strong Democrat, I have always said Bill was involved. I mean, Bill Clinton is all over the Epstein manifest of the plane and the island. And so I think that's really true. It only goes to show that this Epstein thing being trickled out this way, it's just not being handled like the right way. And there was an interview in Vanity Fair, and Susan Wiles, I believe her name, is the chief of staff, and she released a lot of dirt. And she said Pam Bondi has essentially whiffed this entire Epstein investigation. So it's not going well, and I expect to see more and more trickle down of more worse stuff. But yeah, the big guys were involved. They were all involved, and they were all know each other. They all were in the same circle.
Do you think it's an effective tactic to release it on a Friday? Because here we are, we just went to it on a Tuesday.
Totally. Friday at 5:00 is when you want to send out your worst news. You want to fire the people that might have some blowback, because it can't pick up the news cycle until Monday.
I think that's when they overturned Roe v. Wade was on a Friday.
Yes, exactly. Now, I did hear that from Lars. Susie is now coming out and saying the words were taken out of context. Al, she also said that J.D. Vance is a conspiracy theorist for years and switched to Trump for political reasons only. She also said Al, that Donald Trump has an alcoholic personality. And she said a lot of things that kind of came out. And now they're calling this Vanity Fair piece a hit piece. It is crazy. They have a very close-up picture of Carolyn Levitt where you can see her.
I saw that. That was very disturbing.
Yeah.
Very disturbing.
I do have to say, Lars, I'm a big fan of Woody Allen's movies because I think they're amazing. I just in my mind, I believe I just believe a lot of what happened. I mean, he's married his child. He married his child.
When is he going to answer for this? I mean, thank you, Tori, for saying that about Woody Allen. He married his child. Do you know what I always think about when it comes to the Woody Allen marrying his child? Because I think most people, when they think of a situation like that, they look at the overview and they're like, oh, this is disgusting. And what I think about, like, what was the phone call between him and his wife? Because he's clearly too wormy of a guy. Yeah, Mia Farrow, to just be like, how did he look?
I don't know. Yes, by the way, it's an adopted
it's so
daughter.
Gross. I don't know how.
I know.
I don't mince the whole adopted. That's just that's your kid.
Yes, and it is an adopted child, Sunyi, but yes, he did end up marrying his own adopted child. And it's just you know how you get that fishy smell from Seattle on in a Sunday in the summer? All these
Yes.
photographs, the whiff comes off. The Bannons, the Woody Allens, like anyone associated, the Trumps, the Clintons. This was all just a big club. And it was just underground because the highest of the highs of those people were in that club. I mean, can you imagine how many powerful people were in that? How disgusting it is, but how much they could change, like a death of Epstein, in my opinion. I have so many questions about that death, but it takes the top echelon of presidents to be able to do that. So it's a
Like
crazy
I've always
club.
said, that I think the reason that we're seeing the people that we're seeing over and over again, because I do think a lot of people, like somebody like Woody Allen, what does he need? He needs funding for his movies.
Yeah.
There are people that needed. Jeffrey Epstein was also a financier of a lot of
Yeah, a
projects.
gazillion dollars. We don't know where it
Right.
came from.
And we don't know where it came from, which gave him power and which forced people that need money for their projects to go down there and seek his financial blessing. And
Yeah.
while they're down there, I think what happened is they unknowingly were also being put on camera, doing disgusting things. So they went down there seeking money, but I don't think they realized that Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't just fly you to his island so you could have a great weekend and then leave with $2 million to fund your next independent movie. He's flying you down there so that when you get there, he'll be like, hey, why don't you stay for a little while, have some wine? Oh, this young lady seems to have taken a fancy to you. Why don't you hang out with her? And then they got you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The way that Epstein works is that information is his currency. He wants dirt on you. And if he has
Dirt.
it, he has the leverage. I do want to respond to Lars De Palma that says a lot of dispute over Ronan Farrow's father, Woody Allen or Frank Sinatra. He looks exactly like Frank Sinatra. Mia Farrow and Frank Sinatra famously had a very close relationship and they were very into each other. And when asked about this, Al, he gave a great response. Do you know what he said? They said,
No.
are you Woody Allen's son? Or are you the son of Frank Sinatra? We think you're the son of Frank Sinatra. And he goes, to be honest, I think a lot of kids are the son of Frank Sinatra.
Well, you know what I always think about, Tori, is I look at the music that was out in certain eras and how it related to the culture. Because
Yeah,
really, if you
right.
think about the songs that were out, the movies that were out, they were really just a reflection of the culture. And if you think about, I don't know what year Papa Was a Rolling Stone came out, but I'm quite sure that there were very few people that heard that song and were like, I don't know what this is in regards to. Can somebody explain what Papa was? Because my Papa's always, wait, where is he? Yeah. Look,
Yeah,
man, this
that's
is a
Frank.
deeper conversation,
Yeah. Yeah. But
but
yeah, that was yeah.
I think it's not just Ronan Farrow. I think
No, I
there's a
don't think
lot of
so.
people that have either avoided the 23andMe or just does not come up. And I just think it just was, and it's not a badge of shame for anybody that's like, oh, that might not be my dad. I think it's much more common than people know or people think,
I
and
think so.
sometimes there's just, you ever just see a family and you're like, that's your brother David,
Yeah, right. We
you
don't
know?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Ronan Farrow has old blue eyes stamped on his face. I mean, he
Yeah,
is
it's
a
genetics.
mini Frank Sinatra.
He
He
does not look
really
like
is.
Woody Allen. He's a beautiful man.
He's stunning, and he's
Yeah,
got
he's
the
such a
eyes, and
good
he's got the
looking guy.
hair, and Woody Allen's like, "Hello," you know? So, I think we're pretty sure Mia and Frank were heavy,
Right.
hot and heavy.
Yeah. So, it stands to be reasoned that maybe
Yeah.
maybe some other things were going on,
Yep.
but who knows? What do I know? All right, Tori, let's move on and let's talk about I like this because it involves your people. All right, Tori, we're talking about the number one school in the land. Oh, that's right. Michigan.
This is so mean to keep bringing this up.
I mean, well, it's always said, there's a difference between Michigan men. It's actually a turn of phrase, a Michigan man. That's one of high moral character and praise. And it's been said that let's see if we can get another one here for you. I guess we can only get the bottom there, but you can see the young lady there, Tori. I don't know how to break this to you. Not his wife. Not his wife, Tori. This Michigan man, Sherrone Moore, who was fired earlier this week for having an affair with a staffer, wasn't just keeping it in house, or should I say in the big house. He was.
Is this the OnlyFans person?
Yes, this is one of several OnlyFans.
Yeah.
He was sliding into OnlyFans women's DMs and requesting not a threesome because
Right.
he was requesting foursomes.
Foursomes, people.
Now, Tori, if you're gonna, I guess maybe if you're gonna go for it, and I'm kind of joking around a little bit because I have beef with the Michigan, but I read an article that really kind of made me stop and take pause because we do on this show try and look at the angles that maybe other people are missing because they're just doing their job and covering the stories. And it comes out that like a lot of players on the team felt betrayed.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, girl.
Yeah, and I got to add, it's not just sleeping around, it's the assault that he went to that woman's house, put a knife allegedly to her throat, and then threatened himself as well. You want your chief to be the guy that you can count on, and this guy was out of his mind and very impulsive and very scary, and he's being detained, as you said. So just so you know, Sherrone, is that his first name? Am I saying that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Sherrone Moore, is someone put a whole thing on and they were like, this is Sherrone Moore. This is Shamar Moore. And people are getting the two confused.
Oh,
and so they were like,
it's like when people were going after, remember with the lemonade controversy and who were they going after?
They were going after Rachel Ray. And she's like, it's not me. It's Rachel Roy.
Yes. Okay. There we go. I remember that. Yes.
So, I mean, you just want someone steady at the helm, and clearly we have someone impulsive, addicted to sex, it seems, and not great. So
I was going to ask Tori, can we say that he's impulsive? His affair with his staffer lasted for over 3.5 years.
I think breaking into her home and the alleged threats show you that he goes impulsive. But I agree with you. There's a very long-term affair. There's a video going around now where she tries to talk to him and he like completely ignores her. But yeah, it's just not a good look for Michigan. That football team brings us the most amount of money in terms of our alumni endowment. And it has been doing well for many, many years. And it's a bad look for the University of Michigan right after, and I hate to say this, we lost to Ohio State, which people have been fired over because they couldn't win.
Absolutely. No, that's what gets you fired, is not being able to beat Ohio State or not being 100%. Able to beat Michigan. That yes. More than almost anything will get you fired.
1,000%. So this was just a stain, and I feel bad for the players because this is their main moment. The 4 years they get to be on the main stage here. Some won't go to the NFL, and then to have this overshadow is just, it's a hard thing to see, and it's I feel bad. I feel they work so hard, and it's just shame. It's a shame. I'm embarrassed for my alma mater. I really am.
Yeah, it's a bad look. All right, Tori, let's do one of these. All right, and we're gonna let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite subjects in the world. Tori, we're talking food. And strangely, in a weird way, in a sad way, food that will no longer be with us. These are some chain restaurants that went bankrupt and went out of business in 2025. Can you guess one chain?
Okay, for some reason I feel like it's Chili's, Applebee's, TGI Fridays. Did one of those?
I think they're good.
Okay, they're okay. Okay.
There's one that like and listen to the prompt I'm giving you. This restaurant's right in your face. My restaurant's up here, buddy. Hooters went out of business.
Hooters went out of
Yes.
business.
Hooters
I
filed for
loved
bankruptcy.
Hooters.
I think Hooters suffered from a weird mismarketing
I loved
because
Hooters.
I think Hooters was a place that I think originally when it was sketched out, is like, this is for guys, and we're gonna go here and look at some boobs and eat some wings and drink some beer. Every time I went to a Hooters, it was 60-40 men, women.
Yeah, I was there
It
for the
was
wings
it was
and the
yeah,
company.
the wings were really good.
Yeah, the
Hooters
women
was
were lovely.
affordable.
Totally, very friendly.
Football everywhere. The wait staff was extremely friendly.
Very friendly.
And I really think that Hooters, I remember I went to the a Hooters in San Antonio, I believe. And we were talking to the waitress, and because it was packed at lunchtime, and she said it was the second busiest Hooters in America.
Wow.
And the number one busiest Hooters was near this mall in Miami in South Florida.
Wow.
But
That's
a lot of
interesting.
little league teams were in there,
Yeah.
because you can buy food in bulk, wings, fries for 14 kids.
Yeah.
And so I was really kind of disappointed. I really had a lot of good times in Hooters, and I didn't see a lot of, I'm sure there was a lot of whack dudes saying terrible things.
Yeah, but you saw those. You didn't hear about a lot of harassing incidents.
I didn't see it a lot. I felt like it was like a
Right.
pretty family-oriented restaurant that just like was a play on the word breasts. But Tori, the other restaurants that went the way of the dodo bird was Bar Louie. Do you remember or know Bar Louie?
No, I
You
don't.
don't know Bar Louie.
I don't. And someone wrote, Emlo wrote, my nephew, I got to read this, had his birthday there at Hooters from 8 years old on.
Hooters was low-key really great. I like
agree.
that they were one of the first restaurants to have the open concept.
Yeah.
So it's like
you could
all
see
kind of
it.
open, TVs everywhere.
Yeah.
I just thought it was affordable. I don't know. I think
And
Hooters
their
got
beer
a
was affordable. Yeah.
the
I
beer
went,
was affordable. Yeah,
Yeah.
kept it cold.
yeah, very cold. I went to a Hooters in Switzerland, in Interlaken, and we were in the Alps, and the Hooters women came out, but they had to wear little wind jackets because it was quite cold. And there were cows in the field next to the Hooters. It was a very surreal experience, but again, the wings were delicious.
I feel like you're explaining a dream that you had to your psychologist, but here's the thing: the waitresses were wearing zip jackets. I know. Does it say something about my fear of expressing my sexuality? What do the cows mean?
Zipped all the way up. What does that say? The cows were there. But yeah, I did see from a lot of you that the TGI Fridays went out in your area. I did think they took down a lot of stores. So
Oh, did Fridays close?
I think so, dude. I think that they might have.
That's weird. I think what happened to a lot of those chains is like what happens in any business. Eventually you guys can all survive for a little while, but eventually you are going to have to start trying to eat your competition. And it was Fridays and Chili's.
And
Who
Applebee's.
else? And Applebee's. Applebee's was like, I think do you think an Applebee's, somebody that would go to Chili's would go to an Applebee's? I feel like
Yes.
Applebee's was a little bit more family
I
than
think Chili's and
Chili's.
Applebee's are cotton and wool socks. They're
What
the
does that
very
mean?
same. They're just
They're
the
the same?
same. Yeah, even though those two aren't the same.
Those are very different. Put them in your
Agreed.
washing machine and see how similar they are. Throw some wool in there on hot.
But yeah,
yes,
I do think those are yeah, I think they're one and the same. If I can go to Applebee's, I've gone to Chili's. You know what I mean?
yes, and some other ones that we lost was On the Border. It was a chain Mexican restaurant. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, yes, I remember On the Borders. Those were in Miami. And Brio, which is a chain Italian.
Okay, I kind of remember Brio a little bit. Did they also say Red Lobster?
Red Lobster's making a comeback. You know what? I promise I'll try and do it tonight. I'm going to do a deep dive on Red Lobster because Red Lobster was about to go bankrupt. They hired a young Black CEO that kind of reshaped the direction of Red Lobster. And I did read one interview when I was on the road with him, and he said what really put Red Lobster under almost out of bankruptcy. Do you know what special it was?
No.
endless shrimp.
Oh, that okay, yeah. Well, that seems like a
Come
lot of shrimp.
for endless shrimp and eat those MFers out of they almost tanked the business because people in that neighborhood was like, "Oh, really? We'll see, buddy." And a black dude had to go, "Hey, time out. We can't just
It's not the
endlessly
ocean.
feed like the government can't even do that for its citizens. Why do we think we can have endless shrimp?" Like,
Never
yes,
stop. Never ever
was
stop.
it was a great way to get people to know your name, but not for the right reason.
Right. No, stick with the biscuits, the cheddar biscuits on
Cheddar
that.
Bay biscuits, that's right,
Very
baby.
good. I've only went once, and I had a delightful time at Red Lobster.
You, Corinne, and little baby Sarsar need to go to a Red Lobster
Yeah.
and have an experience.
Yes.
Tori, but you did kind of, we kind of segued briefly into what I wanted to talk about because we love talking about food on the show. I read an article because I have a lot of free time, and it was about 5 don'ts, 5 things you do not do at a buffet.
Oh,
So
okay.
while you think, I'm going to let the colleagues start to put what they think that you should not do at a buffet. Let me pull them up here. Okay, I
Oh, yeah.
have them.
And you guys know that like Chili's and all these places are competing with fast food now with their prices because they're so expensive that they're like saying like, you can't afford McDonald's, come over to Chili's and get and I'm like, damn, they are really putting them on blast.
Look, yeah, I mean, honestly, like McDonald's got so expensive that it's now shopping in Chili's neighborhood. And Chili's is like, oh, we got that smoke for you all day because Chili's does have endless chips and salsa.
Yeah, right.
And they're like,
right.
dude, you don't want it with us, dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, Tori, I'm going to give you the first one. The first thing you should not do at a buffet. What would you guess? It has something to do with your plate.
I thought it'd be like, don't use your hands.
I don't even know if that's on. I think that's one that you should know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't put the plate too far in or
More simple than that.
don't fill up your plate too high.
First of all, Black Asian, you already got one. She said, do not put your head under the sneeze guard.
Yes, remember Obama did that and everyone was like,
yes,
no,
you cannot, dude, it's so gross. No, you do not reuse your plate.
Oh,
which
really?
I didn't know that. I thought that was like being environmental and not trying to kill. See, I've washed dishes at a restaurant with that hot fire hose. You're supposed to get a fresh plate every time.
Why?
Let me see if it says
that's
reusing.
So interesting.
It says reusing your plate is basically like double dipping your entire life into a communal pot. Your saliva is on that fork, and if the fork touched the plate, now it's touching the serving spoon. Stop being patient zero.
Okay.
Which I see. Lee goes, I always got a new plate.
I never knew.
My first job ever in life, I was a bus boy at Embassy Suites hotels. They famously have the free breakfast in the morning. And when I was done bussing tables, I would go spray off the trays in the plates. And so I think when you've had those jobs, you're like, I don't want to make 4 more plates for this dude.
Right. You
So
want to be nice to the
right. But it does, like Julia says, it makes sense.
Yeah, someone wrote that your cootie spit is on that plate, and I appreciate that take. Emlo.
Look, bacteria is everywhere, dog. So yes, I definitely believe that. Okay, Tori, number 2. This is called the little Timmy factor. Do you know what that might be in regards to?
Like, don't eat from the kids' buffet?
No, control your effing feral child is basically what it's saying. Don't let your kids run wild at a buffet because you think it's your time to sit on your butt in a booth. And trust me, as a parent of 3, I get it. When you're comfortable, you do not want to get up when you're top, but they're going to go do something gross. I remember I was at a buffet in Vegas. And touch. There was a chocolate fountain, and this kid went and put his hand straight through it like a force field in Return of the Jedi. And I was like, oh my God. And that's
horrific. That's horrific.
Yes.
Their hands are so sticky. There's a lot of, we don't know where they're from, but like get away from the food. I mean, buffets in general kind of give me a little bit of the ick, to be super honest with you. Just like the communal trough that we all eat out of, like animals. I just, in LA, they rate their like ABC from their, and I once went to a B buffet and I was like, I don't know if I could do this again.
I don't
So,
know if
yeah,
this is like elevating one race or another, but I will. The only place I'll go that has a B rating is an Asian spot
that's
because
where it
I'm like,
was. That's
yeah,
where it
Asian
was.
spots. Like sometimes I know that there's like,
That's so weird you said that.
yeah, I don't, I've never gotten sick from any Asian food before, except for that. I will see if I can find that photo before the show is over. Um, Okay, number 3, we already talked about it, the sneeze guard struggle. Don't put your head underneath there. I didn't think I have to tell you that, and clearly the colleagues know, but I cannot. But can I tell you a funny story from a buffet
Yeah.
from years ago? Is my mom, who's been on the show, shout out Dr. Jackie Mack. She will kill me for telling this story, but I already started. Damn it. We went to Circus in Vegas when I was probably 20. And because I remember I couldn't walk on the casino floor, so I wasn't of age yet. And we went to a buffet, and my mom is always like, she's always been food co-op. She does not eat McDonald's. She's never, no chains. And so we went to this chain restaurant. My mom was not pleased. She was not, she's a woman of the people, but she don't want to eat there. And I just remember there was this guy next to me and he had his kids with him and his kid ran up and with 2 fingers just went yoink right into the ranch and put it in his mouth. And my mom turned to me and she goes, "I'm done." And I'll never Jackie back. Well, that
She's
was
out of there.
30 years ago. And I remember that memory because my mom in her head was probably psyching herself up like, "Oh, well, I'm with my son.
We're
And my
gonna do
husband,
this. We're
and
in
we're gonna do
Vegas.
this. We're
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Vegas, and Jackie, you've been eating at the food co-op. You're healthy. You can have some buffet food." And that little kid, 2 fingers in the ranch and just right in the mouth.
It sounds like a euphemism. 2 fingers
Yeah, I
in
know.
the ranch.
Jackie Beck was, I am done. I will never
That is
forget
so
that.
gross. Christina said, "My brother worked at a grocery store and said to never, ever eat from the soup bar," which I do. "Entire
Ooh.
families would just circle around and eat out of it and not pay."
I could
Oh
see
my
that.
God. Oh my God.
I could just see that. I mean, look,
I always go to the soup bar, but I
that's the
couldn't,
only place I go is a soup bar. Like
'cause it's,
sometimes you're like,
yeah.
clam chowder on a cold day. Yes, please.
And
Come
also
on
it
now.
to me, my theory is like it's so hot that it kills the germs. So that's why I go, but apparently I should be good to know. Someone says I'm with Dr. Jackie on that. Yeah. 2
Thank you.
fingers in the ranch.
Okay, colleagues, I am putting this on y'all. Because I'll have my mom on soon, like this week or next week. If you guys did not remind me to make her walk down that road to that Vegas story, because my mom is just like, she just can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, "I love you. I can't do this.
I gotta leave. I gotta
I
go.
can't do it." Yes.
Wow.
Shout out, I have the best mom in the world. Shout out to Dr. Jackie Mack. And we'll get through this really quickly. Obviously, no sampling, which I think
Yeah.
is like, oh yeah, no,
Everybody
yeah,
samples, and I think it's gross.
everybody does.
It
And I
does.
think
Everybody
that's
does.
kind of a problem. And finally, the tong mix up, using like the tongs from the egg rolls and the tongs from the green beans. That's no, because you're mixing a bunch of nasty stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Keep it on its own thing. I also think when you touch the tongs, how many other people have touched those tongs? I mean, that's not great.
it's like the railing on an escalator.
It really is. Yeah. I'm team
It's
Jackie Mack, says Julia. That's very
yeah.
funny.
All right,
Very
Tori, let's get to this because man, we've been blabbing about food. Gee, oh, I could just talk to you forever. Okay, let's talk about
we
food.
love food.
All right, Tori, let's have a little chit chat about this. The Matthew Perry case, the second doctor has been sentenced. Now, remember the ketamine queen, she was sentenced to jail time, but Dr. Mark Chavez, one of the doctors who supplied the ketamine that killed Mr. Perry, was sentenced to just 8 months of home confinement. Despite texting his partner, "I wonder how much this moron will pay." Dr. Chavez got a deal for cooperating with the feds.
Yeah.
Again. While the ketamine queen and Perry's assistant, I think, wasn't he a little Asian dude?
Yeah, I
That
think so.
Yeah. they're still waiting for their day in court, and they didn't. I'm assuming based on this article that they didn't cooperate.
Yeah.
They about to get it. So, Tori, I need to know, what do you think about this sentence, and what do you think about sentencing the drug dealers for selling them said drugs? Because when you are purchasing illegal street drugs, and quite frankly, I think there's an inherent risk that you're assuming. It's like if I buy fireworks that are off market and illegal to have,
Yeah.
can I go back and sue the guy after I blow my hands off?
Well,
I'm curious.
is it, it's different than like crack and cocaine and things that you buy in an alleyway. These are doctors. Ketamine is legal in some places. So some of this is pharmacology, and that was, way too much of it. But it gets kind of crossed here and there. You do have the Hippocratic oath, so I would assume that you would lose your license for doing this as well. But they needed an inside man, and this was he, and they needed someone to connect all the dots. And that's what happens when you make a deal. You just have to sometimes eat the Swiss chard. I was thinking of food I don't like. I don't like Swiss chard, but you got to
Clearly, I
take
don't
it
even know
down.
what food that is.
Yeah, it can be a pill to swallow, but they needed that guy's information to get to everybody else. Reminds me of the law, Al, with the bartender when they overserve someone and then they crash. There's some negligence there, knowing you're handing out
It's
this
like the Carnival
substance.
Cruise Line's bartender.
That's right. Yeah. So you also, so there is some responsibility and negligence attached to the person giving the substances out. But you're also crossing a lot of laws as a doctor. For just dealing in that.
I don't know. Obviously you don't have a law degree, but this is something I would love to ask you and eventually ask Jerry.
My dad.
What if the bartender says in defense to they overserve somebody, they go out and they get in a car accident? What if the bartender's like, hey, I didn't go to effing medical school. The guy's sitting there, he's talking, he's watching the game, and he left. He didn't stumble, he didn't slur, he didn't curse me out. How am I supposed to know when he's had too much, unless we're going to have a blanket law that you can only serve customers 4 drinks before they have to leave? But if that's the law, then it has to be a law for all bars, and I don't see that law.
To be honest, the law states that the person has to be like a glaringly obviously inebriated. And when you continue to serve that person, then that's on you because you had the chance to stop it. So if the guy's sitting there and doesn't show anything and is totally normal, you could see a defense for that absolutely being there.
Okay, well, Tori, I want you to keep thinking about this because this next story kind of pertains to just kind of this rise in drugs that we've seen. It used to be street drugs were heroin, cocaine, angel dust, all the old school ones, but now we're talking about fentanyl, opioids, Oxycontin, and now fentanyl, which I remember my roommate from Tougaloo, who became a doctor. He was an emergency room trauma surgeon, and he was like, I use fentanyl every day, but it was originally used for people whose jaws were crushed in a car accident.
Yeah, it's a great painkiller.
Right, and now it sounds like you're doing an ad for it. But now, we are here, Tori, so I want to get your thoughts on this. Trump now classifies fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. And he says, we are going to war. And 2 things stuck out there. One, we're all assuming that Trump's team is not the brightest. America's relationship with the phrase weapon of mass destruction is not great, because the last time we heard that, a lot of Americans were fooled into looking for them and it got killed. And just we're not even talking about the number of people overseas, citizens that were murdered for nothing, or as Trump would say, a hoax. And what more stuck out to me and was a little bit more scary to me was the "we are going to war."
Yeah.
Because,
So yeah.
Go ahead. What do you think when you hear "we are going to war"? Because I bet you it's the same thing I do.
Well, there's 2 things that are wrong. Remember, this is an executive order, and there's so many of Trump's executive orders that cannot be enforced. He can't just write a certain thing and it's law. It's not like magic. Like, that's where you have something called Congress, because they legislate for legal reasons. I don't know if he can classify fentanyl because there is no classification of a pill as weapon of mass destruction. And then going to war, is he declaring war? Because like you do need Congress in order to help you have a declaration on war. And again, I always say he's not a big person in war, but this term he's been so into war on American soil that he's having the ICE agents, and it's just a lot of war. What did it make you think of though?
I immediately thought about the outsized and overdramatic government response to crack cocaine
Mm,
in
mm,
the
mm.
80s and 90s, because when you declare that you're going to war against something, it's almost like if you
Yeah,
and
the
I
war
were
on drugs. Yeah.
right, it's a code word for now I can do whatever I want to you. It's like when
Yeah.
I say that Tory is anti-American and she's being treasonous, because in that treason just sounds like a word, but no, there's only one punishment for treason, and we know what
Nice
that
bad.
is.
Yeah.
And that's why even Marjorie Taylor Greene was telling Trump to stop calling me saying I've committed acts of treason, because his crazy followers were going, threatening her life.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
I hear war on drugs, that means I can kick in the door of any
Yeah.
family I want in a poor neighborhood, because we're
Yep.
at war, dog. So your civil liberties and your civil rights are now tossed out. I don't need a warrant because we're at war.
Yeah,
We
it's
can
martial
make
law, you know?
right. We can make insane jail sentences for having this substance. Remember famously that having crack, the sentence to jail was almost 10 times that of having powder cocaine,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
poor people did not have powder cocaine, they had crack. And
Yeah, that's
so
right.
like when I hear these terms like war, I'm like, we done dealt with this before. And it's just a way to go after poor people and erode their civil rights, while you always have this kind of fake backing from the country, like, hey, we're trying to fix this problem, but it's not getting at the root of like why this problem is where it is now. It's because of people like the Sackler family and the
Yes.
opioid
Yes,
crisis that
sir.
was heaped and weirdly tied to it. If you want to make this really make a connection, the wars that we fought in the Middle East, where did those troops go, Tory? They came back home after 3 and 4 deployments of being shot at, of seeing their friends and loved ones be killed in front of them, of having to kill people that they probably knew in their heart were innocent. Now they're back on our soil,
And then what are they
and
doing?
they're dealing with PTSD because they're human beings and should not have been
Exactly.
subjected to have to do that. And now I think they said, what is it, 1/3 of every homeless people now are former veterans.
Yeah, for very, very understandable reasons, for very understandable reasons. Just so you know, the war on drugs, the drugs won. Like when
Oh
we talk
yes.
about it was not a successful war. The drugs took over. What you kind of want to do is a war on big pharma. And then what you really want to do is try and figure out where the bad fentanyl is coming from. But all of this is also very distracty. Like it's shiny object, shiny object. Get away from Epstein, get away from that, from my poll numbers. I mean, who doesn't want to like crack down on fentanyl? He also may reclassify marijuana, which is he's often pointed at that, and has wanted to do that for a long time
Reclassify it as what?
as a lesser, not a felony, and take it down as like a certain class type, the highest class drug, and take it down. And he's often spoken about this before. But yeah, he's
Uh,
downgrading the marijuana to level 3 drug. So
and
this is a lot of I'm going to talk about this while I go do other things, and we're going to just it's called what I call it's a shiny object theory. Again, for a man that says he doesn't like war, he uses so much war imagery about our own country. Like he's trying to save Israel and he's trying to save Russia and Ukraine, and but in our own country he wants disruption, just like you said,
right.
so that certain laws can be missed. The war, the anger, the violence, the ICE, the civil police versus ICE. Now it's getting into fighting other Americans. So he starts a lot of war imagery in America and then tries to get the Nobel Peace Prize in the global community. So it's just really strange.
Right.
Um,
And my
yeah.
only pushback to what you said about there was no winner with the war of drugs, I will say that we
I think
were
the drugs
winners.
won, in my opinion.
The drugs won, but I mean the United States government won. If you think about the war, air quotes, that we were conducting, down in South America, in Central America, in Mexico, fighting the drug. We were taking the money that we were seizing, and we were funding the Sandinista. That was the Iran-Contra
Iran-Contra,
affair.
right.
That was
Yeah.
using that money that wouldn't be marked by Congress to fund a regime change, a shady-ass regime change that we were trying to
Wow.
fund. And
Wow.
also, there were also a lot of private prisons
Totally. Which
being
are for
built.
profit. Profit.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, well, we need some people to stock in these prisons. And they're like, how about if we hand you the war on crack and we'll be handing you black man hand over fist?
Just over and over and over again. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great
right.
point. Yeah.
All
That's
right,
a really good
Tori.
point.
That's because I'm really smart. But do you know who's smarter than me? You are, Tori. So it's time for this. Tori, we need a fun fact for today.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to like, I have a backup. Okay. I have a backup.
Okay.
So this is what I have. Ketchup in the 1830s was marketed as a medicine, and it was marketed as a cure for indigestion and diarrhea.
I've never heard that. Are you sure you're reading this from a valid site?
Yes, ketchup in the 1830s was marketed as a cure for indigestion and stomach GI upset. I should have said that instead.
Now, can you tell me what's the difference between ketchup and catsup?
I think it's just the way that you say it. During an inaugural lecture at Willoughby University in Ohio, Bennett declared that tomatoes could treat bilious attacks and other GI upset, and therefore ketchup was used, or catsup, to help that. He urged people to eat tomatoes raw, cooked, or in ketchup. So
that was the golden age when you could just say stuff. You're like, do you know tomatoes cure blindness? And somebody's like, what? And they were like, and then your stagecoach that you were yelling out of the back of just drove away, and they were like, I guess that's the rule now.
I know. And I mean, if you ever watched The Nick, which was a great show, I mean,
I did watch The Nick.
Heroin, yes. Cocaine was used as something to get laudanum, opium. It's just crazy how many substances were used as the cure-all for things, which is very interesting.
It's just interesting that we have all these documentaries, Tori, but none about the search for opium. Because I'm telling you, when I was a little kid sitting in history class, before I knew what the word skeptical meant, when I heard that all of these explorers, back when most of the world thought the world was flat, were sailing away from their countries in these rickety boats in search of spices.
You didn't believe that? But
people don't flavor their food now.
No, but they needed salt and certain to keep meat good and not rot. So, and
people were going to get that good. Why you think we were in Afghanistan for 20 years?
Poppy fields, baby.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, what problem do we have? Opioid addiction. I can't connect them. Who can? Wow, this country's shady.
The dots are right next to each other.
It's like I can't connect them because they're on top of each other. It's so blatantly gross and disgusting that I've also read reports that are pretty well vetted that there were U.S. soldiers that were protecting poppy fields because if you live there and you're like, well, this is what they want, well, we're going to burn them down. Well, they were like, no, you're not. We're going to surround them. So instead of the citizens, we were protecting the opioid fields because, and you know, that's it's just interesting. If you look at the countries we've invaded and then what came right after Vietnam, what came after that, Tori? Heroin. Oh, something to think about until tomorrow. I will be on either by myself or with a special guest. We're giving Tori the day off. Michael Dean is back. We're going to give him a day or two to get reacclimated, but y'all show up right here tomorrow, 3 o'clock. So on behalf of myself, Tori, and Michael Dean, guys, thank y'all for joining. We got something rolling here. Tori, I love you.
I love you too.
Anything to say to the people?
Eat your ketchup.
It's good for GI issues. I think so.